Hi guys, it's Marie and Rafa again. How you doing? Hope all is well for you. Today we're back again for some more English questions. Rafa, what's on today?
I would like to know a little more about would, could, and should.
Oh, easy baby. Okay, let's have a little look. We say would. Very easy for you because I'm using would when I want something. You know, all English children are already taught not to say, I want some ice cream. No. And this carries on for adults and professionals all the same. We would never say want. You can say, I want some coffee in a restaurant. But at the end of the day, Rafa, guess what happens? You can wait for your coffee. You will get your coffee, don't worry. But you can wait because it's not very nice. So I use would when basically I want something, I want to have something, or I use would when I offer something. Like, would you like some coffee? Or would you like some water? I am offering you something. I always use would. I would never say, do you want some coffee? Do you want some water? No, we're much too nice for that. We say, would you like some coffee? Would you like some water? And I can also use would. It's a bit more tricky for suggestions. Basically, when we want to do a brainstorming and I want to give you an idea of what I think would be best to do, I wouldn't say I want to have it this way, I want to do it this way. I can say, well, I would go to the movies tonight instead of to the barbecue party because it's raining. So I would go to the movies. Or I would take Bobby to the zoo. It's nice weather outside. I would take him to the zoo. We would be in the fresh air. Now, off to the could. Or do you have any questions, Rafa?
Yeah, I have a question. Let's say I want to ask for, let's say, a glass of water. What is the best way to do that?
Well, you don't say, I want a glass of water. So you would say, I would like to have a glass of water.
Ah, okay. And if I want to offer someone a glass of water, what is the best way to do that?
When you want to offer something?
Yeah.
I would simply say, would you like?
Ah, okay. So in this case, the would comes first.
Always. That's right. And let me come back here. Again, I would like. It's the same thing. I would like a glass of water or whatever you would like to have in a restaurant or a cafe or whatever. So, you see, when you make an offer, Rafa, as you asked, when you offer something, the would always comes first. But when you want something, then you first say I, but you could also talk about he, she, or whoever you're talking about. I can say Barbara would like a cup of coffee. She would like a cup of coffee. Whoever you're talking about, the personal pronoun, the he, she, it, or we, or you, always comes first when I want something. When I offer, the would comes first. And then the personal pronoun. Again, it doesn't matter, Rafa, if we're talking about you, she, we, whatever. When you offer something, the personal pronoun always comes second. And the same thing happens with suggestions. Again, Rafa, you begin with our personal pronoun. I'm just using I as an example. You could also use we, you, they, whatever. I say, I would take Bobby to the park. The sun is shining. I would take Bobby to the park. So you see again, I begin with a personal pronoun, and then second place is our would. Just like when you want something. So the only time would comes first, Rafa, is when you offer something. Let's move on to the could now, okay? Could, again, has a very, very special meaning in English. It's a big difference to can, actually. And many people mix it up. But can only reflects what I can do. I can bike, I can swim. What can you do? Yeah? You can record, you can listen to music. Can only shows my ability to do something. Could is a cousin of can, let me say. Because cousins are a bit similar, but not the same. When I use could, basically what I'm doing, I want somebody to do something for me. Now, Rafa, I certainly would not come to you and say, Rafa, I want you to open the window. It's not very nice, is it?
No.
No, it's not nice at all. No. I will ask you, Rafa, could you open the window, please? So you see, when I ask Rafa just to open the window, I simply say, could you open the window, please? Could you pass me salt and sugar, please? When you're sitting at the table. Yeah? Rafa, could you pass me this document, please? Thank you. That's nice. So I simply ask, could you pass me the document? And voila, here we are. When you do brainstorming. Now, I said earlier that I would take Bobby to the park, right? As an example, it's also a form of brainstorming, but when I use could, it's a bit different. We use it in negotiations. We use it in business. We use it anytime I really, really believe in something on the one hand. On the other hand, I don't want to be pushy. I can use it, for instance, like, we could discuss about project XYZ now. We could invest more in this project. I could say, we could take Mrs. Jones as the new secretary if we have to decide. We could do that. I'm not pushing anything. I'm trying to give somebody a solution, and I really believe in that. We could do that, no? So, basically what we do, on the one hand, we use could for I want somebody to do something for me, and on the other hand, we use it for clear brainstorming. So I could say to Rafa, could we meet tomorrow again?
Yeah, sure, we could meet tomorrow. What time would be the best?
I could schedule you at 10 a.m., Rafa. Would that be fine for you?
That would be great.
Great. You see? I could say, do you think maybe Barbara could do the presentation tomorrow?
Yes, I think Barbara could do the presentation.
Could you do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, great. Good. You see, I'm giving Rafa my proposal of who could do the presentation. So, last but not least, should. In some languages, should is used completely different. It's used for sometimes more indifferent things. But in English, should has a very, very special meaning. Let's say, for instance, your boss. Your boss has to go to the airport. It's very important and he is still in a meeting. Now I cannot bash into the meeting and say, Mr. Jones, you have to go to the airport, otherwise you'll be too late. This is not nice, Rafa, is it? What would I really do? I would knock on the door. Excuse me, Mr. Jones, I think you should go to the airport, otherwise you can't catch your plane anymore. What is happening here? I'm basically giving Mr. Jones a very, very nice instruction, but it is still an instruction. I'm warning him basically that he will be too late to catch his plane if he's not leaving now. But I don't say it like that. I say, excuse me, Mr. Jones, I think you should leave for the airport now, otherwise you can't catch your plane. Or Mr. Jones, the boss, says to the secretary, I think you should write these documents first because they have an absolute priority. It sounds very nice, but below the surface, actually, there's a real tough instruction. It's just respectful. Just like the secretary is asking Mr. Jones very respectfully that he should leave to the airport. Or the boss, you should prepare these documents first. He's setting clear priorities to his secretary at that moment. Also colleagues among each other. I think we should write this offer straight away. Or I think we should do our homework now among students. Or the teacher, I think you should do your homework more regular. Now, when the teacher says that, it sounds very nice. I think you should do your homework more regular. It sounds very nice. And most likely she will even smile. But below the smile, below the nice sound, you should do your homework, it's hard as steel. It's really something just to show respect. I think you should do something. Like, you should do your homework. You see? Clear instruction, but very nice, very respectful. The next thing we're using should for is assumptions. For instance, the package should come any minute now. Mr. Jones should arrive any minute. That means I have a plan, basically. And I'm trying to inform somebody that this actually is planned to happen. Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones should arrive at a minute now. I'm giving you simply an assumption. You want to know something? It's a plan. Rafa, Easy, baby?
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure.
Sometimes people say, for example, you should drink 2 liters of water a day or you should eat more fruit. How does that work?
This is a really good question, Rafa. You see? Because that actually has to be the plan of everybody in order to stay healthy. So if your sister, your doctor, whoever says you should drink 2 liters of water, it is actually a clear instruction again, wrapped up in a pink bow, because I cannot say to you, Rafa, you have to drink 2 liters of water. I'm not your general, you know? I cannot give you an order. So I give you basically an instruction, a very strong recommendation, wrapped up in should.
Sometimes people say you should not do something. For example, you shouldn't eat so much sugar.
Also very easy, Rafa. Look, I say, you should not go to the park. You should do your homework. Just like with all of them, like we discussed earlier, you say, you shouldn't go. Then you say, okay, you shouldn't go outside without an umbrella. Or you shouldn't go to the park. You should do your homework. Yeah? And this also, the negatives also work for couldn't. She couldn't do the presentation. She's not experienced enough. She wouldn't do the presentation. That means she's a stubborn girl and she just doesn't want to. You say, you should. And then for the question, should you, or she, or we. And this works exactly for the others as well. Could we go to the park? Could we discuss the next subject? Yeah? Do you think she would do the presentation? You just go crisscross. Yeah, that's all there's to it. Yeah? You should. Should we? So guys, that's all for now. I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Keep in mind to give us a like and don't forget to
subscribe.
Thank you, Rafa.